Welcome to the episode of Jay Leno's Garage. Today we're going to talk about, I think, a vehicle that will pretty much revolutionize the industry. You're all familiar with the Chevy Volt. Well, this is more or less a truck version of the Chevy Volt. It gets incredible mileage. If you run power tools and things, you can run it off the generator. Well, we're going to meet the man who is the thinking behind this, and the man who was the thinking behind the Volt. One of my personal heroes, the ultimate car guy, Mr. Bob Lutz. Bob, come on in. How you doing?
I'm doing fine, Jay. You give me way too much credit.
Former Marine.
Yeah, well, that's
there
true.
You go. Flies his own jet plane. This is James Bond of the car world, ladies and gentlemen. But let's talk about this. You know, he and I both have Chevy Volts. I've got 18,000 miles on mine. I've only used 12 gallons of gas. And it's a revolutionary product. And I personally believe that the hybrid is the way to go. The fully electric, to me, has not...
Yeah, too limited at this point.
Too limited at this point. And even though, you know, I find with an electric car, I can either take my wife to the hospital or go to the mall. You can't do both in the same day, you know. And with the hybrid, it's electricity when you want it and gas when you need it.
What we call extended range electric vehicle, like this truck has 40 miles purely electric, and then a small V6 engine drives a generator set, which gives you another like 400 miles.
Right.
And that generator set can also drive all your power tools, as you pointed out. In case of a power outage, you can run your whole household off of your pickup truck and so forth.
Yeah.
And we expect, really in mixed driving, this thing will average about 100 miles per gallon.
Yeah, and it's a truck.
Well, that's America's workhorse.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, given a free choice, this is what Americans buy. Because if you look at, for the last 20 years, the top-selling vehicle category in the United States is always the full-size pickup truck.
Right, right.
And also sport utilities because of American lifestyles, big families, recreational activities. The only reason that sport utilities are kind of slowing down is because of the environmental stigma attached to them and fuel prices. But you take that away, I'll tell you, Americans will buy full-size sport utilities again.
You know, Bob and I were talking the other night about the last days of old technology are always better than the first days of new technology. And when hybrids first came out, they cost more, they weren't as fast, they weren't as reliable, they were heavier. So there was no reason for anybody to buy one. For new technology to succeed, it can't even be equal. It's got to be better. I mean, the classic example, I think, is the Wankel engine. Great idea, lightweight, fast.
Wasn't better.
Bad mileage. It just didn't. So consequently, those of us that love motors found them fascinating, but the general public didn't. We've now reached a point where the electric car is equal, and in many cases better, than the equivalent gas vehicle.
And we're getting a very heavy demand from fleets because fleets with this type of truck generally run 40 to 50 miles a day or less. That means they'll be on electric drive all the time. And the monthly fuel saving more than compensates for the higher cost of the truck. So the fleets are looking at financials where owning these is actually way cheaper than owning a conventional truck.
And it just looks like a normal truck, nothing unusual about it.
It does, and the full-size van is exactly the same way. And this one has the power outlets right back here.
See, here's where you can plug in right here. You charge it right here.
You got your 220 and your 115.
You got 220, yeah.
So there's all your outlets.
And the nice thing is, it's a gas vehicle as well. It's not that small an engine. It's a 4.6, right?
It's a 4.6 V6, so it's smaller than the V8 that's normally in these trucks. But because it's only driving the generator, it runs at a constant RPM. There's no transients, and because there are no transients, even when it's on gas engine, it's more economical than a conventional gas-powered truck.
Now, who builds this? This is not General Motors, correct?
Well, General Motors builds the basic truck.
Oh, I
then
see.
General Motors turns the basic truck over to VIA. VIA then makes the electric modifications, installs the engine, and installs the power electronics.
Right.
And we're at the point now at VIA where the first deliveries, so-called beta units, are being made to the big fleets like PG&E and a host of other fleets. The production, I would say high volume production of ultimate production vehicles is about 8 to 9 months away.
Okay.
The ones that are going to fleets will be so-called co-development units.
Right.
In other words, they know that they may have the odd glitch here and there, and they're willing to live with that for the privilege of being early adopters.
Gotcha, gotcha. And you know, Bob's pretty good at guessing this stuff. He's the father of the Viper. You guessed that one, right? That worked out pretty good.
Yeah.
And the Chevy
I still
Volt.
have your photograph that you sent me.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Yeah, I got one of the first. So whatever he's involved with, I try to get in on the ground floor because it always turns out pretty good. And as you can see, in all respects, it's pretty much a standard GM truck. You can't really. I don't see any compromises anywhere.
Well, this has a basically like an iPad screen in it.
Yeah.
And the production versions will also have it won't be that screen, but they'll also have a screen in them to where it can be used for nav, for diagnostics, for et cetera, et cetera.
And how much bigger is the battery capacity over the Volt?
It's this is about I think 30 kilowatt hours. Okay. And the Volt is 16.
Okay, so it's about double.
It's about double.
Double the size, double the size. Okay, and as you said, a 4.6 V6. We're going to drive this in just a little bit, and it also comes in the Suburban edition as well. Let's take a look at the Suburban. It's the exact same powertrain. Everything is the exact same, except it's just the Suburban, correct?
Yep, that's right.
Nothing different, no different gear ratio or anything of that nature.
And the same thing could be done with an Escalade.
Yeah. And this one will probably get equal mileage to the truck
absolutely.
As well. Yeah.
And again, I mean, officially it'll be like 100 miles per gallon, but real world, because most people will be on batteries most of the time, the actual mileage will be in the thousands of miles per gallon, just like you are with your Volt and I am with mine.
The nice thing about a vehicle like this or the GM car is, it's nice to think that the American stuff has the better technology. You know, for years we've been brainwashed into thinking the Europeans and the Japanese had the smarter technology. It's just hard to sell something before it's time.
Yeah,
you know, when gas is 29 cents a gallon, who cares?
Hey,
you know?
Jay, I was at the forefront of those people who said the electric vehicle will never happen. It just makes no sense.
Yeah.
And back when we had all of the cheap and plentiful gas and no cafe regulations, that was correct.
Yeah. Well, it's really exciting. Bob, good luck with this venture. You know,
thank you.
Everything he touches turns to gold, so I think this is going to be pretty good.
This one hasn't turned to gold yet.
Well, we're getting there. We're getting there. Very good. So we're going to take this for a spin and show you what it's like. Bob, thanks a lot.
Hey, thank you very much, Jay.
Well, as you can see, it's got plenty of acceleration, plenty of power. I can't tell. I wouldn't know I was in a hybrid car if you didn't tell me. Yeah, except there's no noise. You know, this is what the future is. It's pretty amazing. I mean, it combines everything you know about a truck already. It looks like a truck. It drives like a truck, except you get incredible mileage and no maintenance. Now this one is four-wheel drive, correct?
This one is even four-wheel drive.
Okay. Well, I must say, it's got plenty of acceleration. You know, it's so funny, I'm looking at the oil pressure gauge on the dash, and I went, oh, and then I realized, oh, the gas engine isn't running.
Yeah, exactly.
It kind of gives you a scare there. Cruises nicely on the freeway. Again, I can't tell the difference from a gas truck. If you know, if you're not a car person, I don't think you would know the difference. You would just get in and drive. You'd be amazed at how quiet it is. But and it's four-wheel drive. As you can see, it's got a dashboard set up similar to the Volt.
Yeah, it shows the power flow.
It shows the power flow. As I said before, it's four-wheel drive. That's your amount of gas you have, and that's your...
that's what's left in the battery.
That's what's left in the battery right there. You know, it's interesting. We went about 12 miles, 13 miles. I had my foot in it all the way. And we didn't use very much electricity
Well,
at all.
we started with 50, and we're now at 41.
Yeah, so that's pretty
good.
Our
average speed has been 45 miles per hour. And look, we're running 197 miles per gallon on the miles per gallon calculator right here.
Yeah.
Now we're at 198 instant. Oh, it's got amazing torque.
Yeah, and you know what's interesting? the one thing I've found with these hybrid cars like my Volt, the gasoline actually goes bad before I have a chance to use it all.
Yeah.
You know, they always
Well,
say just put 3 gallons in it.
You have to treat it like an old car.
Yeah. I know it's
You know,
funny.
you have to occasionally
Yeah.
run it, or either run it or drain the tank once a year.
Yeah. I mean, if you look, you'd see my oil pressure gauge is reading 0 because my engine is not running. I'm just strictly electric. That threw me for a second. I mean, I've got to go 50 miles in this thing before the engine runs at all.
And even then, it acts as a generator set
Right.
and operates at a constant RPM, which is very fuel efficient.
Pretty amazing vehicle. Well, there's the future. Pretty exciting. I'm really impressed with this. And like I say, anything Bob's involved with, probably a pretty good deal. You know, if you go to Vegas, whatever he's betting, you know, equal that bet because you'll probably make money on it. True car guy and true petrol head, and he likes cars, and he understands how they work, and he understands what people want. One of the great car guys of all time. Bob, thank you so much.
Well,
I'm
thank
really
you very
honored you
much,
could
Jay.
come here, and thanks for bringing this fantastic vehicle. It's
We kind of figured you'd like it.
yeah, I like this. You know, I like my Lamborghinis. I like high performance cars, but
Yep.
this is what the future is. And if we want to continue to drive the cars we like, this is the stuff we're going to have to be using every day. So once again, Bob Lutz and Via Motors, thanks a lot, pal.
Hey, thanks a lot.
See you next week.
Yeah.